Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Last time we ended with this 100th verse of the Shiva Rahasya, where Shiva says, though I know, Shiva, I know all these, no one knows me. The seers of truth alone know me as the one unique, great being. Only sages endowed with perfect sight see the true nature of the self. They see the excellent and immaculate lordship of the formless one. For only the perfect ones can see what supremely perfect is. That is, Lord gives in this verse his essence as unseen, formless, divine. So, to echo this words of Shiva, we ended with a poem line which read like this: the pure subject is infinite. How can the object touch its core? Sin cast by total self in time and space. Today's satsang sparks off from exactly this declaration of Shiva that he is the formless, divine essence, unseen, and known only by those who are perfect. That means who have realized him as Shiva or Brahman or true light. Now, 101st verse, exactly taking clue from this formless aspect of the supernal light, the verse, as though Shiva is asking on the behalf of a sadhaka, 101st verse goes like this. Know something else is to be understood by those who yearn to know the truth. For there will be some among the mortals who will ask, if the Lord is unseen, formless, and the rest, how can then he rule the world? If he is unseen, if he is formless, attributeless, first question is, how can he create the world? Okay, he has created the world. We have to take it as it is, because we don't have the answer even in Upanishad why he created this universe. The second question, having created somehow, or that moonlight robber analogy, somehow the creation came into being mystically. Okay, bhaiya. Now, the question is, if he is unseen, unmanifest, formless, then how he rules the world, how it is determined that what is right and what is wrong in this world. This is the question. Therefore, listen you to the plain truth. Shiva says, rule the world by dharma. The world supporting law eternal. Dharma is my divine power supreme. From that, all other laws and powers flow, even as rays spring from the sun. 102nd verse. Because the dharma is continuing. It means dharma. It holds the universe together and keeps all things under its sway, yoked as it were into my will. It is also called Yoga Bala, power and law of unity, by the wise. As the unseen wind descending down from the sky moves trees and other things on earth, so I, the unseen Lord, by means of my power divine, animate and rule the world from my secret abode. I see and hold dominion over all things from beyond the sphere of the cosmic magic that renders me invisible to man, even as clouds enshrouds the sun. So Shiva has told that yes, I am unseen, but just like he gives the beautiful analogies, just how winds flowing from the top, somehow winds cannot be seen. But how winds makes the tree swing here and there, similarly, me, unseen light, formless, I rule this world by my eternal dharma. So we need to know something more about this dharma as to what is dharma in the sense of what Shiva is telling and how he rules the world through dharma. Dharma is the inherent law and order of the universe, encompassing natural laws, moral principles, and ethical conduct. It is the force that maintains balance and harmony in the cosmos, ensuring everything functions as it should. God in various traditions is seen as the ultimate source and embodiment of this cosmic dharma. Dharma as righteousness. Dharma extends beyond the cosmic level to guide individual actions and responsibilities. It defines one's duties and obligations based on their role, based on their stage of life, that is, based on the ashrama in which they are, and inherent nature. By fulfilling their dharma, individuals contribute to the well being of themselves and society, aligning with the cosmic dharma, universal order. God's role in upholding dharma. Vishnu are considered as protectors and upholders of dharma. They guide individuals to understand and follow dharma through scriptures, teachings, and examples. In times of decline or imbalance, God may incarnate, like Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, the Samarpan Bhajan Paritranaya Sadhunam, to restore dharma and guide humanity back to righteousness. Last the least, following dharma for liberation. Living in accordance with dharma is seen as a path as the path to spiritual growth and liberation. By adhering to their dharma, individuals purify their karma and move closer to realizing their true nature and union with the divine. Dharma is not but a way of life that leads to a harmonious and fulfilling existence, both in this world and beyond. As Acharya often insists and very clearly elaborated in the four parts of the karma sessions, where he dealt with the four purusharthas extensively, he time and again he repeated this mantra in the four purusharthas: leave artha uh, to the destiny after putting in efforts. Pursue dharma with kama to attain only one thing, that is moksha. Leave artha to your fate. Pursue dharma with kama, with craving, mumukshatva. Here kama means mumukshatva. Pursue dharma, atma dharma, wherein all other paradharma comes within the bigger rectangle of swadharma or atma dharma. Sage from the Ananda Kutir writes, "Silence to the Lord, the embodiment of dharma, the controller and protector of dharma, and the fountainhead of dharma." What is dharma? Dharma is so called because it holds. The word dharma is derived from the root dhr, 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 to hold. And its meaning is that which holds this world or the people of this world or the whole creation from the microcosm to the macrocosm. It is the eternal divine law of the world. The entire creation is held together and sustained by the all-powerful law of the God. Practice of dharma, therefore, means recognition of this law and abidance by it. That which brings well-being to man is dharma. Dharma supports this world. The people are upheld by dharma. That which accrues preservation of beings is dharma. Dharma leads to eternal happiness and immortality. Therefore, whosoever speaks the truth is said to speak dharma, and whosoever speaks dharma is said to speak the truth. One and the same thing becomes both. Dharma includes all external deeds as well as thoughts and other mental practices which tend to elevate the character of man. Bhishma says in his instructions to Yudhishthira that whatever creates conflict in is adharma, and whatever puts an end to conflict and brings about unity and harmony is dharma. Anything that helps to unite all and develops pure and divine love and universal brotherhood is dharma. Anything that creates discord, split, and disharmony and, and promotes hatred is adharma. So for you mumukshu sadhakas, with the background of so many years of sessions, about the paradharma or the rules which govern your individual actions and thoughts, can we say that dharma, as meant by Shiva in this most sacred treatise, Shiva Rahasya, means adherence or pursuance of one and only goal of experiencing Shiva as the expansive, limitless, supernal light. And having experienced Shiva as that supernal light in simple language, having attained self realization, ever existing as that light, in that abidance of self state, where all other dharma, whether you are a student, whether you are a manager, or whether you are a housewife, or whether you are a sadhu, or whatever, while Shiva insists that you exist as that light, that Shiva, that supernal self, that itself, Atma Bodha verse says this, that light, that illumined consciousness, that in auto mode governs all your thoughts, words, and actions at the worldly level, depending upon the stage in the four ashramas, whichever ashrama you are, and whatever duty you are performing. So here, let us keep this dharma only to that Atma dharma, and not even come below that as mokshu sadhakas. 103rd verse. By means of this exalted knowledge, the yogis who are my faithful devotees enter my innermost omnipresent heart, and being illumined by the light of truth, abide in perfect unity, some yoga with me. This is what Acharya echoed even before reading. He doesn't remember the lines of the Shivarahasya verses and all, each and every line. He reads and then he just notes down the points which comes from the source for elaboration of each verse. So, without knowing that this verse is going to come, he defined what is dharma, and exactly you try to correlate what he just told about dharma for the mumukshu sadhakas to this verse where Shiva says, who are my faithful devotees, what they do, they abide in perfect unity, illumined by the light of truth. What he said, let that light of consciousness illumine by your thoughts, words, and actions. This is what is told as Ekam Sat. Truth is one. Though it may be given in thousands of ways, by thousands of treatises, by hundreds of acharyas, so that each one with his own sanskara, with his own aptitude, can take up any one of them. Ekam Sat. April, May 2011, whatever Acharya started teaching, he continues the same essence now. And he will be continuing the same essence till he passes away. Because it is the source. And source is one. Truth is one. Now, he would have noted down few lines on this. Let us go through as the exposition of this verse, 103rd verse. 103rd verse and 104th verse also combined. Having traversed the sphere of my magic work that constitutes the universe of forms, they, my faithful devotees, here devotees means mumukshu sadhakas, not only devotees in form, because he himself has declared that I am formless. Shivanandaji Maharaj wrote in one of his articles, only a true jnani can be a true bhakta. Only a true jnani can be a true sevak. He has expanded this line. Especially only a true jnani can be a true sevak in many Samarpan Bhajan talks. He remembers, others might have forgotten, because everything changes. Everything changes. Everything modifies. So that 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 era of the Samarpan bhajans, the era of the 250 bhajans, had to be forgotten by all. It were all forgot. But only advantage for him is that having given all those things, he lives in that nectarine essence of all those spores, and he is ever in bliss in the essence of the spores. So he says, those who abide in that truth, they attain the great and pure nirvana, the extinction of all cravings and all sorrows, and join me in my everlasting bliss. Acharya told about bliss just now. Graced by my favor, they need not return to worldly existence, even in millions of ages. Millions of ages, they will not return to the world. They will not be born again. God creates dharma for the creation to function in cordial, righteous manner. Faithful devotees, that is mumukshu sadhakas, travel or lead their lives in accordance with the dharma prescribed by the God unseen. When one loves someone, he ends up loving all the actions, all the words of the one he loves. Even in the infatuation, you would have experienced this in your teens. Okay, you end up loving, or you end up thinking that you are loving some person, and all that person's actions, thoughts, words, silence, movements, everything is intoxicating for you. You love everything about that person. If that is true in a mundane, worldly level, think of Bhakta's ultimate love for God. How intensely and sincerely would he follow and dharma prescribed by the God whom he loves the most? If in the normal worldly love you are so carried away by the words, whatever your beloved or your lover says, it is most appealing for you. It is so appealing that you think that nothing else is true. Only whatever he or she is telling is the truth. If that be the case in this mundane world of infatuations, then think of the ultimate love the bhakta holds for the Bhagavan. Then how true, how ultimately true, or how perfectly true the dharma prescribed by that Lord should be for a true devotee. this particular portion invites your introspection, not contemplation, introspection after the, even while the session progresses on, especially after the session ends. Shiva says, while leading a righteous life as per the dharma of God, the learned ones go beyond all cravings, all desires, and attain nirvana. How do such yogis exist further thereafter? Shiva's concluding lines is the greatest blessings, greatest grace for such yogis. They attain the great and pure nirvana, and Shiva is giving the assurance, provided you have attained nirvana, provided you have realized self, provided you have merged and existing as me, the supernal light, then, oh Saumya, I am giving you an assurance in return, which no human being on this earth can ever give. At what is the assurance I am giving in this verse? Graced by my favor, they need not return to worldly existence even in millions of ages. What a commitment. What a promise given by the Lord. Once you go beyond the world and even all dharmas of the world and merge with the Supreme Source, call it God, call it Brahman, call it Shiva in the context of Shiva Rahasya, call it light, call it Supreme consciousness. Then one need not return to the world in millions of ages, not thousands of ages, millions of ages. It is one way path. You go and reach that Vrindavan, and then you shall never return. This is my assurance, says Shiva. For whom? True devotees, true sadhaka have attained nirvana. With their purushartha culminating in my grace. Up to the 17 and a half steps in the Shabarimala Purushartha, last half step, ultimate step is my grace, God's grace. He lifts you. And without that last grace, you cannot attain realization. Whatever you meditate, whatever you contemplate, whatever Upanishads, Karachi Kudichi you have imbibed. Ultimately, without his grace, you cannot reach the cross the 18th step. And he ever waits for such true devotees, like he waited for Pundalika. He waits for ages on ages, for our thousands or hundreds of births. He is waiting. When, like the love of God session, first session, that moment in life when everything seems to be vacuum, everything seems to be waste, and all the love of all the human beings seems to be very what do you call at a vacuum level, very at a very surface level. And then you turn love of God, first part, you turn towards God. For that real turning towards God, thereafter He will guide you. and ultimately he will take you for that turn, ultimate turn, irreversible turn. He waits for us for several and several births of us, as he waited for Pundalika, who asked him to sit on the stone while he served his parents. पंढरी निवासा हे पांडुरंगा हे प्रतिवासा श्री साई देवा पंढरी निवासा हे पांडुरंगा. My Gurunath's bhajan. 105th verse. O you who outshine the stars, this is what I, the Lord and author of all true gospels, here declare. Those that follow my word are rightly guided, but those who do not shall go astray forever, wandering in the darkness of illusion. I, the enlightener of three worlds, have revealed the truth that has been hidden. In the initial Shiva Rahasya talks, Shiva talked about those who ever exist in the realm of my light, and those like the darkness of the night, those who live in the darkness of avidya. For them, what Shiva has to say, they will not realize me, and they shall go astray forever, wandering in the darkness of illusion, moha. 106th verse. Let this secret teaching be taught to those who are eligible to get these teachings, who have an understanding of these teachings. Let it be imparted to one's own sons, disciples, and those that believe in the unseen only. For those whose understanding is narrow and defective will understand when the time has come for them to understand, and not a moment before. Not a moment before they will understand the grandeur of my secret, of my real essence as the light. Teach only to your disciples, teach only to those who deserve, teach only to those who crave for these teachings. Others will get surely, but they will get only. In Hindi we say समय से पहले किस्मत से ज्यादा नहीं मिलता है किसी को. Right? They will see me as light, but when their time comes, what does it mean? When they have exhausted or cleared all their intense prarabdha karma, and they are left with only very few red arrows and all other white arrows. That is the time when they will turn towards God, turn away from the world. Swami gives the example of key often. He says, turn in the key, it is turning towards me. Turn out the key, it is towards the world. Here, Shiva is talking about those who are unable to adhere to Lord's Dharma. They, Shiva says, will be wandering ever in the darkness of illusion, Maya. So Shiva says, all these sacred teachings have to be imparted only to those who believe in the unseen. In other words, to those, 1 minute, iPad with a touch, it goes here and there. He has to refer to what he has noted down. Just a minute. We were in the 105th verse, right? Yes. In other words, to those who have endowed themselves with the sadhana chatushtaya and have committed to lead their life for realization of self, the only purpose of birth. Regarding others, Shiva says they will realize the importance of such sacred teachings only when that moment comes in one birth. Sveta Ashvatara Upanishad says knowledge is best taught to those who actively seek knowledge and spiritual understanding, particularly to those with a deep devotion for God and their Guru. It emphasizes the importance of a receptive and sincere student for the teachings to be truly effective. The Upanishad itself suggests that its teaching should be imparted to those who are high minded. That means this implies to a certain level of intellectual curiosity and the capacity for abstract thought and contemplation. Second, possessing highest devotion for God. A sincere and heartfelt desire to connect with the divine is crucial for understanding the Upanishadic wisdom. Third, last but not the least, without which nothing will happen, Upanishad says having devotion for their Guru. The Guru or spiritual teachers acts as a guide and facilitator in the student's journey of self-discovery. 107th verse. The truth of God is beyond the reach of a mortal's mind. It can only be grasped by a pure heart in deep contemplation. Therefore, do not reject my revelation, for it is the light that reveals the road to perfection. Follow what you understand and leave the deepest mysteries to those amongst you who are wise. Guru. As a child at first drinks only milk but gradually takes a solid food, just so even the dullest mind shall understand the highest truth in the due course of time. Shiva assures here that no matter where you are in your sadhana,